So I wanted to give you the keys to optimizing your life. We live in a culture now where we think we need to work hard every single day in order to get the things we want. I wanted to tell you that this is a lie. And the true way to optimize the way we navigate through this world is balance. Balance is the only way we can get to where we're going without breaking down and getting there in a timely fashion. So what I'm going to share with you is the 3 ways we navigate through this world by feeling, thinking, and doing, and how these all pertain to an aspect of your health. So this will be your emotional health, the way you feel, your physical health, the things you do, and your mental health, the way you think and articulate your way through this world. This is a very complex subject and I could talk about it for a long time, so I'm going to give you an understanding of how we can get imbalances in these particular areas, in these technologies we use to move through this world freely. I'm going to show you what it looks like to be excessive in your thinking and what it looks like to be deficient in your thinking, and for the other components. We're going to start with emotional health. What's really interesting is these 3 aspects of our health speak to different time frames. So emotion is more associated with things in the past. We're going to begin over here on my little triad. The past, emotional health. This typically speaks to events we have experienced which can affect the way we move forward through this world, how we feel when we move forward through this world. A deficiency in this aspect looks at the desensitization of the experiences we have. This can lead to things like depression, being stuck in the past, in that event which we have so many unresolved traumas or feelings about a particular event. It can lead to boredom, having trouble getting out of bed, tiredness, and also impotency. When we think about feeling sensations and we have a deficiency in that particular aspect, it affects everything. I'm going to give you a little bit more context by the way we can think about this in a excessive aspect. So if we're feeling too much, we live in a culture now, consumer culture, where we are constantly looking for things to make us feel good. And this can be present in a number of different afflictions, such as sexual addiction, drugs, we have alcoholism, even food, gluttony. Again, consuming too much, obesity, type 2 diabetes, these things that are present in other people's lives, in people around you, these show an excessive emotional imbalance. I'm also going to come down here, we've got video games. Again, we live in a culture now where there's so many different video online YouTubers, and people get addicted to watching video games. And we have social media, of course, that instant gratification culture where we're constantly chasing those likes, that hit of dopamine to again affect our sensation. And I'm just going to round that off with smoking as well. So all in all, feeling, we can be deficient, desensitized to our environment, or we can be constantly looking for the next hit, constantly looking for that dopamine influx. So I'm going to move ahead now onto the future, which is associated with mental health. We're going to begin by just reiterating again, this is the technology we use when we think, when we look ahead into what we can plan on our future, what our goals look like. A deficiency in this aspect is nihilism. Nihilism is the uncaring feeling or association we have with our future. We're not motivated enough to go and get the things we want. These people take no responsibility. They don't really contribute much to society. They don't really have an opinion or impose their will on the world. This can be a difficult and very degrading imbalance, because it can lead to envy, it can lead to jealousy. These people view other individuals who are trying to make something of their life as trying too hard. It's uncool to try hard. So they sit and they stew in this pile of jealousy and envy, because secretly those are the things they want to do. They want to contribute in a way to the world, but they cannot have that will. On the other end of the spectrum here, so the excessive end of mental health, of thinking too much, we have manipulation. We have the individual. This can be, you can draw some comparisons to the tyrant at work, your boss, who is always so condescending. He always knows better than you, or she always knows better than you. They know right, you know wrong. They have the knowledge and the intelligence. You simply need to follow the orders. We all have experienced individuals like this. These people are selfish, self-centered. This can be, again, a path to neurotic symptoms. When we are focused too much on looking ahead, we don't have any ground to sit in the present. Anxiety starts to build. We are looking at our goals and trying to grasp at that future event which has not happened and appeared in our life. It can knock us off center, off balance. So now we're going to move on to the present moment. This is where we really want to be. It pertains to our physical health and the technology of acting in this world. Over here we have the deficient pole of the acting, of the physical health, which is hesitation, uncertainty, not thinking before imposing ourselves upon the world. This can lead to, again, more neurotic consequences in the way we have no empathy for one another. We can appear selfish and, again, not willing to contribute to the world in such a way. On the other end of the scales, we have the workaholic. We all know individuals who are trying to impose their will on the world by just, again, hammering and knocking on that door, trying to get everything done. They take on too much. In this way, where we had no empathy for others on the deficiency of the scale, they have no empathy for themselves. They do not know how to rest. They do not know how to take time off. They can appear compulsive and obsessive with the goals they are trying to make happen in their life. I've also noted here a lacking of the feminine quality. And what I mean by that is the softness, the yin, the more nurturing element of, again, achieving that balance. As I preferenced in the beginning of the video, this is all an attempt to come back to equilibrium. That is homeostasis right here. And we have to realize that in life, and this appears all over nature, we must have night and we must have day. We must have sky and we must have ground. We cannot have left, we cannot have right, and we cannot have work without the adequate amount of rest to recover. So I think that brings me nicely back to the sentiment of this video, which is true optimization is found in balance, is found in equilibrium, or for the scientist among you, homeostasis. I will be referencing this diagram, and essentially I don't want to call it a philosophy because it's just the way of life. It's the way of nature, balance. It's no philosophy. It's no ideology. It is simply nature. So I'm going to be referencing nature throughout all these videos that are coming in the future because I really am a proponent of this world, this earth, nature, balance in its entirety. I do not subscribe to one way of doing things. I will simply come to you and say, how is that working for you? Are you feeling balanced? Are you feeling level? Do you have an adequate amount of equilibrium in your life and you don't feel you're drowning in the past over here, or you're ungrounded in the future in the thinking aspect? We want to remain present in the moment, in this physical aspect, and then we can get to the Holy Grail, which is essentially, some call it enlightenment, but I simply like to call it to be. So we have to feel, to think, to do or to act, and ultimately we want to get to simply being in this world. So if you're a proponent of nature, earth, and ultimately advocating the use of balance in your life for optimum performance, then please subscribe. This is the place for you. This is where we are going to explore the wonders that nature's philosophy has already granted us. And there's going to be far more where that came from. So, would like to see you here on this journey with me.